It's not going to happen. You have to live there. You have to be there. You have to be immersed in it. You have to talk to people who are there. You have to watch how they behave, what they say, what's there. It's all around you. Pay attention. The internet is user-driven at the moment. That may not be true in the future, but at the moment it is created and run more by the users than possibly any communications medium that's out there.
People can see the show in one city and write a review, and then it'll go onto the system. Then everybody all over the place, whoever's on the internet, will automatically get that review. It's very interactive.
We're talking about a global audience here, and we're talking about instant access to them.
Right now, it is certainly a grassroots phenomena that's happening, and people are talking about new bands that are coming up, bands that they've seen in some tiny club that seats 30 people.
Yeah, dig into it. I mean, everybody should. Everyone should communicate as much as possible because it's just too cool to leave alone.
It's the internet craze, you know. I mean, it's like there's the skateboarding craze, and all the bands wanted to advertise in skateboarding magazines and certain kind of bands. And I think it's the same thing with the internet.
We are in cyberspace. We've left the capsule, and we're floating around in cyberspace.
I dreamed up cyberspace by sitting at a typewriter with a blank sheet of paper going infospace, data space, cyberspace. Cyberspace. Sounds good. What does it mean? I didn't know, so I started filling it up. But it was just like pure buzz. It was a pure buzzword creation.
Misquoted lyrics, that always looks vaguely interesting. So perhaps we could... So who's compiling this?
This is fans. I mean, the amazing thing about this stuff is this is a particularly huge collection of information, and none of it's coming from record companies or coming from music press or anything like that.
Dancing with the walrus on top of the pops. He's actually dancing with the wallies on top of the pops.
If you've got a band, if they've got records out, chances are there's something about them on the net.
At first, I just joined like a mailing list of just people writing comments about our band and stuff, and I just joined it for curiosity's sake. A lot more people and bands actually look at their band-related internet stuff than their fan mail, whatnot, because it's so, you can go through it quickly, and you can select what you want to, if you wanted to respond, you could be very selective and or not respond to it at all and still read it all. It's kind of anonymous.
For years, fans have made a Bob Mould board, or like a section of the net where you can go and everyone exchanges their information. Like Bob Mould said, they know more about me than I do. He doesn't necessarily like people knowing it, but he reads that board. He explained that he will never, ever respond to anybody on that board because otherwise then the balance of power is gone. He doesn't want people necessarily knowing that he's reading that. His own board is fine, but this is in the hands of the people, and if they start writing in a way that they hope, if they write for his approval, then the creative anarchy is gone.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, the net originally was a nice underground communication link for cool nerds and geeks and whatever.
Cool nerds, that's
and scientists, more importantly. But now it's become kind of a commercial thing, which I don't like, but we are contributing to that abuse, and it's a great place to advertise.
Come on and eat my brain. Yeah, yeah.
My problem is my computer's an Atari. Yeah. I'm having a hard time getting internet software for the Atari.
Pac-Man keeps eating our icon.
Well, we have a decent Macintosh computer here, but a lot of people can access the internet from an Atari, from an old Commodore, absolutely anything, and they can still get the same information. Perhaps the graphics and the actual text won't look the same, but no, everyone you could go buy a $100 computer over at Active and access the internet.
In terms of the indie band, well, right now they're held back by a bottleneck in the physical distribution of their goods, their product.
With an electronic distribution network, that bottleneck is no longer there.
My confederation is the rascal.
Figure 4 Records is hooked up with, like you said, Music Service Bureau, and we were on a major before, and we weren't hooked up with the internet, and now that we are, even though it's independent, it's going really well, and we're able to get our stuff all over the world, plain and simple.
The younger generation will undoubtedly go for it, but it will take some time, and when it does, the majors will be hot on the tail of it.
Recreation music, Grateful Dead. You can go to the University of Nevada, pick the artist in their public guitar directory, pull the information out, and then print off the sheet music. You don't have to pay for it.
I mean, can they just print lyrics? They're not my publishing company sort of own the copyright of the lyrics. Do they not have a, do they not?
Legally, they probably do.
They probably do. So is this okay to be on here but not to print? I mean, if we printed all this up and sold it, would that be illegal?
My guess is that what's up here probably isn't legal. It turns out that on the net it's really, really, really hard to enforce this kind of thing because the lines between what's conversation and what's publishing are so blurry.
Right, I see.
So while it might be cool for someone to sing one of your songs to a friend of theirs,
exactly, yeah,
is it cool to sing it to 1,000 friends at once?
The digital domain has certain implications for artists. One of them is copyright and ownership.
Yeah.
So what kind
Well,
of
this is all
feelings
set to go really, really banning, not just because, through the net, but also the sort of dissemination of information down fibre optic lines and all this kind of stuff. And so many of us have contracts that were signed before CDs were even invented, never mind all this other stuff. So it has huge ramifications. And while I'm in favour of the broad dissemination of information, I'm also worried that publishing companies are going to, in their attempts to control it, are going to bring in some, you know, kind of like economic censorship sort of thing.
Darkest day in history, when someone invented property.
Where does the music industry stand in the digital domain? Because if the music industry isn't in charge of its own copyright, then who the hell is? The digital jukebox is the world's first legal digital distribution system, which allows you to buy your music from over the internet and have it delivered over the internet.
All you have to do is click on any icon to begin. Have fun.
CD-ROMs are a natural in the music world simply because they've already been dealing for years with the format, with the CD format.
Do you think CD-ROM actually affords people an opportunity to get deeper into an artist's art?
None that I've seen. First of all, I think CD-ROM is like the 8-track tape of computing. You know, it's going to be around for about 15 minutes.
I'd have to say that there isn't a lot of really good stuff out there. I think we're reaching a breaking point where we're going to start seeing a lot more of it. And there are some really good ones out there. The Residents, using an artist, or in conjunction with an artist named Jim Ludke, did a CD called Freak Show, which was quite astonishing. It was a brilliant piece of work. There's also Head Candy, which is a CD done by Ion Design. It's a series of images that fly on the screen, accompanied by a Brian Eno soundtrack. And the images are very abstract. You wear a special pair of prismatic glasses, and it's kind of like the lava lamp for the 90s. David Bowie did a CD-ROM called Jump, which ironically was done by Jim Ludke. And it's awful.
I'd like to stress that there is communication going on between people. Lots of people are accessing each other. There's a whole brain trust that's being built up there, and it could help a lot of things in terms of not just the music industry, but you name it.
Marshall McLuhan missed it. He was damn close. The medium is the message. That's the whole problem. That's what we're facing at the moment. That's the root of the problem. The medium isn't the message. The message has to go beyond the medium. If the medium is the message is pretty damn dull, frankly, because then all the message is technology.